Welcome back. We're at Plateau 4 now, and this is the one I want to spend a little extra time on, because this is where most of the businesses I work with are sitting when we first meet. Not failing, not thriving. Plateau 4, almost there. It's the most common address for founder-led businesses in the 2 to 15 million revenue range, and it's the most frustrating place to be, because the distance between where you are and where you want to be feels small. Almost there. Just a few more hires, a few more good months, a slightly better system here or there. Except that almost there has a habit of lasting for years. Today we're starting at Plateau 4, almost there. If you haven't watched the previous 3 videos, then I recommend that you do before beginning this lesson. So many founder-led businesses get stuck at Plateau 4. Growth has been solid, business is good, but the infrastructure to scale simply hasn't been built. What got you to this stage is unlikely to get you to the next stage, and that makes it difficult. A lot of founders are happy here because they don't need to make some of the difficult choices, but complacency can also set in, and this creates its own problems. What does Plateau 4 actually look like? Some processes documented, not all but some. Some decisions get made without you, the routine ones, the ones the team is confident about. The important ones, the commercial ones, the ones that involve risk or judgment or a difficult conversation with a client, those still land on your desk. Growth is inconsistent. You've had a great quarters. You know what good run feels like. You can't seem to string them together. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. A great quarter, then a flat one. Potential everywhere, consistency nowhere. The team is capable, genuinely capable, but they're waiting for direction, waiting for approval, waiting for you to make the call that, frankly, they could probably make themselves. It can feel a little like walking through treacle. You think you have momentum, but you never quite break through to greatness. You really are taking 2 steps forward, then 1 step back, and it's tiring. Everyone is still looking to you for direction and leadership. You haven't given them the structure and rules by which to operate without you. One of the clearest examples of Plateau 4 thinking I've experienced was the moment we redesigned our consultancy proposition at RWA. When I took over the commercial side of the business, I looked at how we were selling compliance support. 3 static tiers: bronze, silver, and gold. Every client in the same tier got the same bundle of services, regardless of whether those were the services they actually needed. It was a common model, simple to price, easy to sell, and completely undifferentiated. Here's the Plateau 4 truth. We had real capability, we had good people, we delivered excellent work, but our positioning was unclear. We sounded like every other compliance consultancy. So price was becoming the differentiator, and that's a race nobody wins. We didn't need more people, we needed to finish the thinking we'd started and stop leaving the commercial infrastructure half built. So we designed something called Clear Compliance, a credit-based system where every client got baseline support, and then a credit allocation they could spend on whatever their business actually needed. File reviews, e-learning licenses, consultancy visits, training workshops. Flexible, needs-based, built around the client's problem, not our service menu. It took time. It required us to think differently about how we package and sold our expertise. But when we walked into the room to pitch for the biggest contract of our business's life, a national partnership with a leading insurer, we had something no competitor could offer. We didn't win that contract because we were cheaper. We won it because we'd finished what we'd started. And that's what breaking through Plateau 4 actually looks like. Here's this me moment. We have processes, but people don't always follow them. We built the system, but the system isn't embedded. It's a document, not a culture. Some things run fine without me. Others still need me. You can tell exactly which things those are without even thinking about it. The ones that run fine are your partial infrastructure. The ones that need you are the gaps. We can't seem to string together more than 2 good quarters. Inconsistency at this scale is almost always a structural issue, not a performance issue. The team isn't the problem. The gaps in the infrastructure are. The team is good, but they're not commercially proactive. They deliver well, but they're not bringing in business. They're not spotting opportunities. They're not having commercial conversations because no one has built the system or the culture that makes that happen naturally. I feel like we're almost there, but almost there never arrives. That feeling, that particular exhausting, demoralizing feeling of proximity without arrival, that's Plateau 4. Here's why almost is so dangerous. The pain isn't acute enough to force change. You're not in crisis. Revenue's coming in, clients are happy enough. The team is functioning. Because the pain is low grade rather than sharp, the urgency to change never quite builds. But while you're waiting, something else is happening. Every month you stay at Plateau 4 is a month your competitors might be building the infrastructure you haven't finished. Every month is a month your best people might be wondering why decisions still route through the founder. And every month is a month you're not compounding the value that a properly built business creates. Partial infrastructure doesn't compound, it stagnates. There are 4 root causes of being stuck at Plateau 4. Not 1, 4. and they often exist simultaneously. First is partial infrastructure. Some things are documented and work reliably, others still live in the founder's head. The problem isn't the things that work, it's the gaps, and gaps in infrastructure don't fill themselves. Second is incomplete leadership. This is the one most founders don't want to hear. Plateau 4, the founder is typically excellent at one or two things and significantly weaker at others. That gap, whether it's commercial development, financial management, team leadership, or operational thinking, creates a drag on the whole business. The solution isn't for the founder to become good at everything, it's to find someone who complements what the founder brings, a commercial number two. The third is unclear positioning. This surprises people when I raise it in an operations context, but here's the reality. If you can't clearly articulate why a client should choose you over someone cheaper, your commercial ceiling is already visible. You're competing on price, whether you intend to or not. Competing on price is a race that nobody wins. The fourth is the battle between long-term and short-term thinking. Plateau 4, every time you make a decision based on this month's revenue target rather than this year's strategic direction, you're borrowing from your future. The urgent keeps beating the important, and the important never gets the investment it needs. Most firms fall into the comparison trap. Your positioning is so inward-focused that you and your competitors all sound the same. Take your name and logo off your website, and no one can tell you apart from the next firm. Without clear positioning and differentiation, then your prospects and your clients will default to price. In those instances, the cheapest most often wins. That's not something you can scale. And what does breaking through actually require? 4 things. First, complete the infrastructure build. I know it sounds obvious, but the number of businesses I encounter that have been almost finished with their infrastructure for 2 years is extraordinary. Partial doesn't compound. Finish it. The remaining gaps in your systems are costing you more than you think. Second, add complementary leadership. This is what I do as a fractional commercial director, and it's the most direct route through Plateau 4. Find the person who has the commercial skills you don't. Not a full-time hire if that doesn't make financial sense. A fractional arrangement. Someone who works alongside you with different strengths, who can make the commercial decisions you're not well positioned to make, and who can build the systems your business needs. Third, reposition to escape the comparison trap. I'll go into this in much more detail at Plateau 6, but the seed of it needs to be planted at Plateau 4. Start asking the question, why do clients choose us, and is it for the right reason? If the answer is price or convenience or habit, that's a positioning problem that will constrain you for as long as it exists. And fourth, commit to long tail thinking, even when the pressure is short term, especially when the pressure is short term. The decisions that build a durable business are rarely the ones that win the immediate battle. Train yourself to ask, what's the 5-year implication of this decision? You know you've broken through Plateau 4 when systems consistently work without your oversight, growth becomes predictable rather than occasionally good, decisions happen at the right level without always escalating to you, and clients are choosing you for what you are, not what you cost. That last one matters. When price stops being the primary reason clients choose you, something has fundamentally shifted. That shift is the beginning of Plateau 5. One practical thing to do. Draw a line down a page. On the left, things that work reliably without you. On the right, things that still depend on you. Everything on the right is incomplete infrastructure. Now pick one thing, not 5, not all of them, but one. Build the system that removes it from the right column and then do the next one. That's how you build through Plateau 4. Not in a transformation program, one thing at a time, consistently over months. In the next presentation, we reach Plateau 5, the engine room. The first plateau where the business genuinely works without the founder at the center of everything. And we'll talk about what it takes to get there and what it feels like when you do. My name's Tom from Addoli. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, then get in touch or leave a comment. Subscribe to this channel to watch the rest of the series and to be the first to know when new videos are launched.